imagination right now. It feels like the world is gonna last forever. I've been here a lot. I actually lived here for 4 months after high school in Prenzlauer Berg, when it was still not that family oriented as it is now. It was still underground and cool. Yeah, and I've played here a lot of times. I go here as often as I can. It's pretty close to my home country, and it's a city that I find very inspiring. So I also just go here to write songs and get the cool vibe. When I'm here now, I mostly go to Kreuzberg and Friedrichshain and Neukölln and stuff. As I loosen up the blindfold, I begin to see my scars have yet not healed, but I am free. No one ever told that a storm would be coming. I was in the water when the river overflowed. Yeah. You know, music for me is all about sincerity. It's all about being real. It's all about not pretending. And therefore the lyrics is of course a very important part of it for me, you know. Well, my parents have recordings from when I was 2 with my dad's guitar, singing in my own language, you know, weird sounds, but it was music. It's definitely music. And yeah, then I went into the really big love songs when I was maybe 8, 9 years old. I remember my older sister was kind of, you don't know shit about what you're writing about because you've never had a girlfriend. And yeah, so I think, you know, music has always been, you know, a tool of, I've been a dreamer as a child, and as a, you know, I still am probably. And it's a good place to dream. You know, writing lyrics and playing music is it's a great spot of just going out on an imaginary road. And your determination seems to change the situation. We both surrendered. You are lipstick, are pretty now. You're so cool that it freaks me out. You're kicking down my doors. You hit me like a truck. Well, I think I've always known that music was going to be a big part of my life. I, as a child, played music from when I could basically walk. But of course I didn't know that it was going to be like for a living at that time. I also wanted to become a firefighter, police officer. When I was 14, I also had a dream of becoming, you know, a professional football player. But I had to pick, and I picked music. It wasn't really a hard choice for me. Yeah, so, but you know, I never dreamt of this kind of living that I have now. It's, you know, when you stand there as a little boy looking up on the big stage at your idols, you dream of that, but you don't realize what's behind it. You don't think about that there are 23 hours in the day that are different than being on that stage in front of a big audience. So you can't imagine what it's like, the rest of it. But it's great. I love it. I'm really grateful that I can live out my dream and be a musician. Mysterious, mysterious, she is walking towards me. Oblivious, I'm oblivious to what is happening around me. She's covering her face. Well, I started playing the guitar actually because I got sick of going to school with piano. So I quit school and basically decided to learn to play the guitar by myself without knowing any theory behind it, just using, you know, pure musicality. And now it's almost my main instrument now because, you know, I have such a close relationship to the instrument guitar. So yeah, it's a kind of new thing with the guitar compared to the piano. When the silence falls, that is when I feel lonely. And when silence falls, I mean, I love writing on the go. I write many of my songs in a plane or in the tour bus or when I'm on my way to somewhere. But I also really like, taking time off, going to the countryside, sit and listen to the silence, because different ideas come out there. Yeah, I enjoy songwriting, in many different locations and vibes. I recently went back to the kind of more old school way with like a moleskin notebook and writing lyrics in that one. That works really well for me, but I like having my phone too. If I get a melody in my head, I can just record it real quick, or write it down. If I don't have my notebook with me, I can just write a lyric down and then write it over to the moleskin later on. She don't even say a word. Delirious, I'm delirious. I surrender myself to the twilight of her. We're covered in the haze. I try to catch her eyes. Well, when I did In These Waters, I wanted to explore the more commercial pop side of myself as a songwriter. I wanted to basically walk the line, see if I could make a pop album that would still give me the chills. The chills is basically what my compass in music. So my goal was to try to make a pop album that had more depth to it, with lyrics that really were heartfelt and then I also tried to implement more electronic elements. Before it was maybe more acoustic. That was the idea and the thought behind it, and it was a lot of fun. She is so beautiful that I'm afraid of breaking her. I feel like I am an elephant in a porcelain shop. I wanna lay her down in a sea of roses and we will just float away. I wanna carry her all around town, I'll show her to everybody. Yeah, it's a pesto story. It's a story about having pesto in your teeth on a date with a really beautiful girl. So I got this. I invited this girl out for a dinner, and basically we had a 3-course meal, and there was pesto involved in the starter. We had a great time, laughing a lot. I think my jokes were really good that night, and after the dessert, I went to the bathroom and realized that I had pesto all over my teeth. Later on, I spilled a glass of wine on her, and had one of those very clumsy nights, and and the next day, I basically wrote a song about feeling like an elephant. I am absolutely lost. Can you feel my ground shake? Can you feel my heart quake? We have only just begun. Oh, babe, you make my heart quake. Oh, she's still driving straight into me every day, so yeah. I did that song actually with 2 German producers who started out with doing, I think, Tokyo Hotel, did Frida Gold as well, and really cool guys living in Los Angeles, Christian Nord and Robin Grubert, they're called. It's been a great collaboration. They helped me getting Michael Bublé's horn blowers on the track and Whitney Houston's old backing vocal group. So that was a great experience. Yeah, I'm doing more with them on the new album. Then I feel the absence of you, and all the things that we used to do. The colors of my wildest fantasy. Well, actually, she was the winner of X Factor in Denmark, but she was different. I used to kind of be against those concept TV shows, but when I saw her winning that show, it kind of made sense to me, and I felt like, if there's one winner in 10 years that has the kind of depth and talent that she has, it makes sense that they're there. So it's not just plastic coming out of TV, it's actually real talent. And I reached out to her because I kind of took the old school way, the long run, playing gigs and gigs and gigs and gigs, and then hopefully, and then people started showing up. And I just wanted to share my experiences with her and wanted to try to write with her because I thought she was goddamn good. I think I'm kind of down to earth. I'm basically just the guy next door with the guitar, and she felt that quickly. So, but in the beginning it was kind of weird in a nervous way. Yeah. Oh, whatever it is that you're doing it right, you did it now. I couldn't care less about the world outside. No, you are lipstick, are pretty now. You're so cool that it freaks me out. Oh, you're kicking down my doors. You hit me like a truck. Yeah, I mean, I keep saying this in interviews, and I hope that you'll hear it at some point. But Adele is definitely on top of my list. I think a collab with her would be a dream coming true, a big dream coming true. But I mean, there are so many great artists out there that I would like to do something with. It's very educational as an artist to work with other people. You spend a lot of time on your own, and I just, there's no education at the university to become an artist or a songwriter, so it's really helpful and inspiring when you work with others. I have a lot of festivals, and I'm playing, I'm on this European tour right now, solo tour, continuing that after the festival summer. Then I'm going to the States, gonna play gigs there and live there for a while and maybe do the new album in the US. I would love to live in New York, but someone else thinks that I should live in LA. I love both places. I'm gonna commute back and forth, yeah.